She was born an Austrian archduchess. She became the Queen of France. Her name has echoed through history, Marie Antoinette. But her reign was not one of fairy tales. It was a tragedy, a story of love, loss and revolution. Marie Antoinette's life was a whirlwind, from the glittering halls of Versailles to the dank cells of a Paris prison. Her journey is a reminder of the fickle nature of power and the unpredictable tides of history. She was the last Queen of France before the storm of the French Revolution. Her story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even those at the pinnacle of power are not immune to the winds of change. Let us delve into the life of Marie Antoinette, a queen who walked a path paved with both roses and thorns. Marie Antoinette's story began in the heart of Europe, in a time when empires were vast and power was measured by the reach of one's influence. She was born into the powerful Hapsburg family, a dynasty that had long been a cornerstone of European politics and culture. The Habsburgs were known for their vast empire, stretching across many lands, and their political prowess, which was unmatched in the courts of Europe. Vienna, the imperial capital, was her playground. It was a city of grandeur and elegance where the arts flourished and the elite gathered. Even as a child, Marie Antoinette was groomed for greatness. She was taught the ways of the court, the art of diplomacy, and the importance of her role in the family. Her destiny? To secure alliances through marriage. This was the fate of many royal daughters, to be used as pawns in the game of international politics. The Habsburgs, like many royal families, used marriage as a tool to forge alliances and strengthen their position in the world. Her fate was sealed at the tender age of 15. A marriage agreement was drawn up, and her future was set in stone. She was to marry the heir to the French throne, Louis XVI. This union was seen as a way to solidify the bond between Austria and France. A grand wedding was orchestrated, a spectacle designed to showcase the power and wealth of both nations. The celebrations were lavish, with grand balls, feasts and festivities that lasted for days. It was a momentous occasion, one that would be remembered for years to come. Marie Antoinette, the young archduchess, bid farewell to her childhood home. It was a bittersweet moment, leaving behind the familiar for the unknown. She embarked on a journey to a new life, traveling across Europe in a grand procession. The journey was long and arduous, but filled with anticipation and hope. As she looked out of the carriage window, she saw the changing landscapes, each mile bringing her closer to her new home. It was a life she could scarcely imagine, filled with both promise and uncertainty. She crossed the border into France and stepped into her destiny as the future queen. The French court was a world unto itself, with its own rules and customs. But the young Dauphine had much to learn about her new country, her husband, and herself. She would face many challenges and trials, but also moments of joy and triumph. Her journey from Vienna to Versailles was just the beginning of a life that would be marked by both grandeur and tragedy. The Palace of Versailles was a world of opulence. Built in the 17th century by King Louis XIV, it was designed to be the epitome of royal grandeur and power. The palace, with its intricate architecture and expansive gardens, stood as a symbol of the absolute monarchy of France. Every corner of Versailles was meticulously crafted to reflect the wealth and authority of the French crown. A world of shimmering chandeliers and endless gardens. The Hall of Mirrors, with its breathtaking reflections and ornate decorations, was the centerpiece of this majestic palace. The gardens, designed by André Le Nôtre, stretched as far as the eye could see, filled with fountains, sculptures and meticulously trimmed hedges. It was a place where art and nature coexisted in perfect harmony. It was here that Marie Antoinette would reign as Queen of France. Arriving from Austria at the tender age of 14, she was thrust into the heart of French politics and society. Her marriage to Louis XVI was meant to solidify the alliance between Austria and France, but it also placed her under the intense scrutiny of the French court and its people. As queen, Marie Antoinette indulged in a lavish lifestyle. She was known for her love of fashion, often setting trends with her elaborate gowns and towering hairstyles. Her penchant for luxury extended to her private life as well, with her personal estate, the Petit Trianon, serving as a retreat from the formalities of court life. Her days were filled with extravagant parties, elaborate fashion, and courtly intrigues. The Queen hosted grand balls and theatrical performances where the elite of French society would gather to celebrate and gossip. These events were not just social gatherings, but also opportunities for political maneuvering and alliance building. The young Queen embraced the pleasures of her position. She surrounded herself with a close-knit group of friends and confidants, often referred to as her inner circle. These individuals enjoyed the privileges of their association with the Queen, partaking in the luxuries and entertainments of Versailles. She surrounded herself with a coterie of friends and confidants. This inner circle included influential figures such as the Duchess of Polignac and the Princess de Lamballe. Their presence provided Marie Antoinette with a sense of comfort and familiarity amidst the often hostile environment of the French court. However, her extravagance came at a price. The immense cost of maintaining such a lavish lifestyle began to strain the royal finances. The Queen's spending on fashion, jewelry, and entertainment became a subject of public criticism and scandal. Her perceived indifference to the financial struggles of the kingdom only fueled the growing discontent among the populace. The French people were burdened by poverty and hardship. While the nobility enjoyed the luxuries of Versailles, the common people faced increasing taxes, poor harvests, and rising bread prices. The stark contrast between the opulence of the palace and the dire conditions of the peasantry became a source of mounting resentment. The Queen's lavish spending stood in stark contrast to the struggles of her subjects. This disparity was not lost on the French people, who began to view the monarchy as out of touch and indifferent to their suffering. The image of Marie Antoinette as a frivolous and extravagant ruler became a powerful symbol of the injustices faced by the common folk. Whispers of discontent began to circulate. In taverns and marketplaces, people spoke in hushed tones about the excesses of the royal court. Pamphlets and cartoons mocking the Queen and the King began to spread, further eroding the monarchy's credibility and authority. The seeds of resentment were sown. The growing discontent among the populace was not just about economic hardship, but also about a desire for political change. The Enlightenment ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity were gaining traction, challenging the very foundations of the absolute monarchy. Marie Antoinette, oblivious to the growing storm, continued to live in her gilded cage. Despite the mounting unrest, the Queen remained insulated within the walls of Versailles. Her daily life, filled with luxury and leisure, seemed worlds apart from the struggles of her subjects, unaware of the precariousness of her position. The Queen's detachment from the realities of her kingdom proved to be her downfall. Her inability to recognize the severity of the situation and adapt to the changing political landscape left her vulnerable to the forces of revolution. Her actions, though seemingly harmless within the confines of Versailles, would have far-reaching consequences. The perception of her as a symbol of royal excess and indifference became a rallying point for the revolutionaries. Her every move was scrutinized and criticized, further alienating her from the people she was meant to rule. The gap between the monarchy and the people was widening. The physical and symbolic distance between Versailles and Paris mirrored the growing divide between the ruling class and the common folk. This chasm would eventually lead to the downfall of the monarchy and the rise of a new political order, and the Queen's extravagance was fanning the flames of discontent. The opulence of Versailles, once a symbol of royal power, had become a catalyst for revolution. The anger and frustration of the French people would soon erupt into a movement that would change the course of history forever. The French monarchy was in a precarious position. Years of mismanagement and extravagance had depleted the royal coffers. The people of France, burdened by taxes and poverty, grew restless. Marie Antoinette, once adored, became a target of public scorn. Her Austrian heritage made her an easy scapegoat. She was accused of being out of touch, of being more loyal to her native Austria than to her adopted France. Rumors and gossip spread like wildfire. Pamphlets circulated, portraying the Queen as a spendthrift and a traitor. The once revered Queen was now a symbol of the monarchy's excesses, a lightning rod for popular anger. The French people were on the brink of revolution. Their cries for change could no longer be ignored. And Marie Antoinette, once the symbol of absolute power, would find herself caught in the maelstrom. The stage was set for a dramatic confrontation, a confrontation that would shake France to its core. The diamond necklace affair proved to be a turning point in the history of the French monarchy. It was a scandal that rocked the French court and further tarnished Marie Antoinette's already fragile reputation. The affair began with a necklace, a magnificent piece of jewelry that was originally commissioned for Madame du Barry, the mistress of Louis XV. This necklace, encrusted with hundreds of diamonds, became the center of a web of deceit and manipulation. The jewelers who crafted it hoped to sell it to the new queen, Marie Antoinette, but she had no interest in such an extravagant piece. Enter the con artists, led by Jeanne de la Motte, a woman of noble birth but dubious character. Jeanne saw an opportunity to exploit the Queen's name and orchestrated a complex scheme to defraud the crown jeweler, Bourbon. She convinced Cardinal de Rohan, a high-ranking clergyman who sought to regain favor with the Queen, that Marie Antoinette desired the necklace. Although Marie Antoinette had no involvement in the scheme, the damage was done. Jeanne de la Motte used forged letters and a fake meeting with a woman impersonating the Queen to convince the Cardinal to purchase the necklace on her behalf. When the fraud was exposed, the public, already suspicious of the Queen due to her extravagant lifestyle and perceived indifference to their suffering, readily believed the worst. The scandal played into existing prejudices and fueled the growing discontent among the populace. The affair became a symbol of the corruption and decadence of the French court. Satirical drawings and pamphlets circulated, portraying Marie Antoinette as frivolous, gullible, and immoral. The Queen, who had once been a symbol of glamour and power, was now associated with scandal and deceit. The scandal did not just tarnish Marie Antoinette's reputation, it also eroded the public's trust in the monarchy itself. The diamond necklace affair became a rallying point for those who sought to challenge the authority of the king and queen. The affair fueled the flames of revolution as it highlighted the disconnect between the ruling class and the common people. The public's anger and frustration grew, and the scandal became a catalyst for the revolutionary fervor that would soon engulf France. The diamond necklace affair eroded what little trust remained between the monarchy and the people. It was a stark reminder of the power of perception and the fragility of a reputation built on shaky ground. The scandal underscored the vulnerability of the monarchy to public opinion and the ease with which a single event could ignite widespread unrest. Marie Antoinette, who had once been seen as a glamorous and powerful figure, was now viewed with suspicion and disdain. The diamond necklace affair was a turning point that marked the beginning of the end for the French monarchy. The affair serves as a poignant reminder of how quickly fortunes can change and how a single scandal can alter the course of history. Marie Antoinette's fall from grace was swift and unforgiving, and the diamond necklace affair played a significant role in her ultimate downfall.